You're always concerned about the morale of your team when things aren't going good, and what it takes to keep it going. And
muy importante, very important.
Yeah, it's very important. And I think from the top all the way down, the continuity, the reinforcement that we hadn't gotten there yet. That we are a work in progress, but we're gonna get there. And I think our team has responded tremendously to that. They're great teammates, man. We're very fortunate that we have quality young men on this football team that care for one another, that are willing to fight for one another, and run off the field, Christian. That understand that we got to find our way. We got to find our way, and that we've been in this position before, and we can, and we have dug ourselves out of it. And so it's been rough, but we're very much focused on the task at hand. We had a phenomenal practice today. The energy was out the roof. Guys played hard. We played a game situation here with a ton of guys that we think could help this team, and so that needed some time. So, the reps for Dominique Shepard, for Leighton Garnett, the continuous development of a Devin Boston, and getting BJ back in his groove. The play of JoJo Weeks in today's scrimmage, to throw the ball to those young receivers who the first time live action isn't on Saturday. That when you talk about Joshua Cephas, Ja'Cory Franklin, DeJuan Griffin, JT, and you ask those guys to go in, we put them in those situations today, third down situations, fourth down situation, take a shot situation, and go make a play for this team. Let's see you make those plays. And we put those quarterbacks, and whether it was Brandon Garza, whether it was Sutton Sapien or JoJo Weeks, because we just don't know. We don't know if we're going to have to call upon you. And it was just so good to see those guys who in other games have played significant roles rally and became the biggest cheerleaders for their teammates. The same way those guys cheer them on Saturdays, they did the same today. And so the quality of our team, of repetition of what is our game today, it'll be evaluated. It will speak the truth on Sunday when they come back. This is what happened in the game. This is first down situation. This is red zone situations. This is turnovers. We're going to go through all that with them, where the buy-in continues to be fostered in the development of our team.
How about Lowell? How did he look?
He had a great practice. He didn't go in the scrimmage.
He didn't go, just the other three?
Yeah, just those guys went in the scrimmage.
You want to see them?
Yeah, I wanted to see those guys, but he had a really good practice.
Frank, just to question everybody's asking is, what's the update on Frank? Did he have more? You have more imaging yesterday, more MRI done? Another MRI or series of them?
He just had the ones that he got yesterday.
What's
yesterday morning.
Any update?
No, we haven't gotten all of them yet.
Frank, you mentioned Jordan Weeks. What's up?
Yeah.
What do you think his role is this week?
It could. His preparation will probably determine that. He's a guy that has started a game for us, has played significant snaps for us, and so at any moment, he can be poised and in position to go out and play. I don't know. We'll see how this thing shakes out. We may play more than one intentionally. Certainly we'll have more than one prepared to play. And so that's our intentions, just to get all these guys ready. If their numbers is called upon, that we have able bodies that have gotten meaningful snaps in a practice scenario that has prepared them for a game.
Was Frank here today?
Yeah,
mental reps and all that, so he's engaged just like that. That's what they call them, mental reps, right?
Yeah,
He's just in there.
He was engaged.
Well, you talking about how these guys like each other and all that, which I know they do. But I guess that's the challenge, just to harness it all together, obviously, right? And, all that energy that you got, all this different current, is to kind of get it all and move it in one direction.
Yeah, that's always the case. In any team sport, when you think about this, how difficult it is, and that's why this is the greatest sport there is. When you ask 100 men to be on the same accord. I can say something to you, and we send it down the line, and as you know, by the time we get to 40, it'll be said differently than it was at 2 and 3, and then say it again differently at 60 and again at 80. And so to get 100 people on a team, 150 with staff and support staff, is an awesome task to do. And so we charge ourselves with doing that, to all being on the same accord, to having one voice when in the greater good of our team. And so that's always intentional for us.
Most challenging team sport, right?
It is.
Because you got 11 guys on the field. Yeah, because there's so many guys out there. You got to coordinate.
Yeah. CJ.
You referenced the 2016 season, starting 1 and 3. That schedule is kind of eerily similar to this schedule, right?
Yeah.
You have a non-conference kind of in the back end, and another
schedule was we got on the road and went to ODU after not playing well the week before that, and I remember the thing I distinctly remember about that game was that we're gonna run the ball. We may have had like our lowest rushing output, and at that time in our school or in our time here, whoever we played before ODU, I don't remember. But I remember that game saying, we're going to run it. And we put together a drive that was so amazing. It was probably our first double-digit drive that we put together against them. And we played a very formidable opponent in ODU and fell second to them in that game. But you just saw, okay, we're going to be all right. We're going to be all right. Just stay to the course. It'll come. And we came home and got a victory and put a string of them together and concluded that year with the win over Charlotte to solidify our spot.
So there's still some players on this team that were around back then. Freshmen, a few of them. Yeah, they're freshmen.
Yeah, and they
so they know what they got to do, right?
And they remind the team of it.
You think it's possible? You're in a home like this.
So that's good to have that as well.
Coach, how much work can you do during this bye week to work on tackling without trying to be too physical on the guys? How do you approach that?
Yeah, we tackled all out today. So you don't do it every day, but we tackled today to the ground because it's something you have to do. But you're right, Greg. It's hard to do it on an everyday basis just because our sport is so volatile and things happen. And so you want to get them to the dance, but at the same time take on the responsibilities of being able to do what's asked of you, and in this case to tackle well. And so you do it on devices and things of that nature, and then you pick a day or two where you actually tackle one another. And we've done that within this bye week.
Do you do that more often when it becomes something that's a point of something you're struggling with in games or something that needs more focus?
Well, you got to gauge it. You got to gauge the health of your team, your depth of your team, who's being tackled. Who you going to tackle? You're going to tackle the guy that don't move very well, and because that's not a realistic simulation of what the speed will be in the game. Oh, so we're going to tackle Sincere McCormick? Nah, probably not. We're not doing that either. So it's strategic, and so we do it as best we can. Thank you, guys.
Thanks, Frank.